Most people don't have a budgeting problem. They have a clarity problem. Because if I asked you right now, how much can you spend today without messing things up? Most people can't answer that. That's exactly what this system fixes. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the exact spreadsheet I use. It automatically allocates your income, tracks your spending, and shows you in real time what you can actually spend. No complicated apps, no guessing, no overthinking, just a system that works in real life. And stick with me, because at the end, I'll show you the one piece of this system that changes everything. And it's the reason most budgets fail. So stay tuned. Welcome back to Simply Money. So most budgeting systems focus on the wrong thing. They focus on tracking every dollar. But tracking doesn't solve the real problem. Because you can track everything and still have no idea, what can I spend right now? That's where most people get stuck. Too much information, not enough clarity. The goal of good budgeting isn't tracking, it's decision making. It should answer one question. What can I spend without breaking my plan? And that's exactly how this system is built. Let's jump into the worksheet here that I've created. And this is on a Google Sheets, and you can get a copy down at the link below and buy me a coffee. And your support really does help our channel, and I appreciate all of the support that we get through that. And if this is something that you find handy, I want you to look at it, because not only can you do this on your computer, if you have access to a smartphone, you can do it on your phone. The Google Sheets, I've made it to where it's pretty simple to just completely use this, and it's right there with you. I used to do this on a spreadsheet, like a manual spreadsheet, a ledger book, where I'd write in everything, all my categories, and I took what I was using because I could never find an app that worked for me. I'd tried different apps, and they all just had too much other stuff that I didn't want. I wanted basically the old grandma envelope system, where you have categories, you put so much money in that category, in that envelope each month, and at the end of the month, there's no more money, there's no more spending in that category. But you could also have money left over in that category, and it would carry into the next month. So we're going to dive into this, and I'm going to show you how this works, how to set it up. It only takes a little bit to set up. It's not very complicated to set up, but the great thing is maintaining it and using it on a regular basis is even easier. So here's the spreadsheet, and there's 4 tabs I want you to look at. We have the dashboard, transactions, categories, and instructions. The instructions are just there in case you forget something. You can walk through it, not have to come back to the video and try to find where I explain it. The instructions tell you step by step what to do. We're going to go through these 3 tabs over here. I'm going to start with the categories. If you look over here at the categories, what we have is you have your category with drop downs. So you click on this and say, I want to set up my auto loans. Then you put how much your monthly budget would be, what your starting balance, if you already have money set aside for this category, you can put that in here, and it will automatically update these sections here. And we'll go over that in a second. Column L is where we have our categories. I've already put in a bunch of categories, but if you want to add more categories, you can. So we're just going to add XYZ as a category, and if you come over to the drop down and scroll down, you can see it's there as XYZ now. So you can add as many categories as you want theoretically. I think I have this going down to 1,000 rows. Plenty of space to grow and to diversify your different categories the way you want. I'm going to click this right here. For those who do buy this, you'll see here there's another category list. This is the sorted categories. This is locked. You can't do anything with it. What it does is, because as you're adding categories here, that you can see they're all just out of whack. It's no rhyme or reason to it. And what this category does, this section here, it just alphabetizes everything for you. And that is what these drop downs is going by, is that helper row here. So I have that hidden, and that's why you don't see it here. For those that don't know how to hide cells, you just highlight the cells you don't want to see. Right click, hit hide columns. So now you don't see it, just kind of cleans it up. When you order this, you might see that because oftentimes when it creates a copy and then sends it, everything is still out. You can hide that if you want. But this column L is where you add your categories. Like I said, you can add as many categories as you want into that, and you can just continue to expand that. Like here, if you have auto loans, maybe you have 3 auto loans and you want to put dad's auto loan, mom's auto loan, kids auto loan, whatever it is you have, you can break it down even further. That is where you can control your categories. You can rename these if you want to change it. We have income because obviously you need to track what's coming in. So anytime you have income, you would select that category, and I'll show you that here in a minute. But perhaps you want to add multiple income streams. You can do that as well. The next thing you want to do is go over here. You'll see you have your total budget, and that's going to be what you allocate over here in the categories. And then you'll track your actual income, and that will come from your transactions. So when you put in, I got a paycheck for $1,000, it'll update here, and I'll show you that again in a minute. But what you want to do on this sheet is your projected income. So you want to take all your sources of income on a monthly basis. And some people are like, well, I don't have a regular scheduled payment. Sometimes I get maybe a base pay with commissions. There's lots of ways you can do that. You can take your average of your year and put that in a 12-month budget. Or you can take your low end, what your lower side is, put that in, and then months that you make more, it's just going to allocate more to those funds. So it helps you like stay under budget and beef up the funds. So different ways you can do it, but you want to put in what your projected income is. So for ease of numbers, I'm going to put $4,000 as your projected monthly income. And right here you can see income status, we're behind by $4,000 because we haven't put anything in yet. Your total budget is 0 because we haven't added anything here. And your actual income is 0 because we haven't added anything. So we're just going to add a couple categories. I'm going to put our cell phone, we're going to put entertainment, we're going to put housing, and we'll just go with those 4 categories for now. You can go through and each category you want to put in, then we're going to put how much you have. So we're going to put $300 auto loan. We have a $75 cell phone. We want to spend $300 a month on entertainment, and we have a $1,250 housing. Again, on this here, the housing, maybe you want to put mortgage, and maybe you want to put taxes separate. We have taxes down here, but you could put housing taxes. You could put, if you have other taxes you got to deal with, whatever you want to break this down. So you could break housing down into subcategories, and that way you can track that better. As you can see here, so we've picked our categories. This is the monthly amount you're going to have in each one. It shows your current balance, which is 0 because we haven't added any income yet. But when you do add income, whatever you add, it will put 16% into your auto loan, 4% into your cell phone, 16% into entertainment, and 65% into housing. Your budget's only showing $1,925 out of $4,000, so you'd want to go in and add the rest. Maybe we want to put the rest in savings, so we'll just put savings, and that leaves us $2,075. And I'm just doing these numbers to make this simple. Again, you're going to want to go through and average out, what do you spend a month? Some bills are static, like typically an auto loan is going to be the same amount every month. Your housing will typically be the same amount every month. Entertainment, you want to average what you spend over a year per month, because some months you're spending more, some less, but this gives you an average. Now, as you can see, it shows our actual income still 0, but now we've set this up. Once you set this up, you can go in and tweak it, but you really don't have to mess with it again. So it's an initial setup. This is what we're setting up, and we're not messing with it again. Come over here to transactions. And this is where the heartbeat of the system is. This is what you're using on a day-to-day basis. You set this categories up. Once it's set up, then you're just operating here in your transactions tab. All we do is double click. We're going to put that today we went to Mickey D's and we spent $33. And you put the amount in that you spent. You don't have to put positives or negatives because that is calculated over here. Again, I have some hidden cells and it's showing us. So depending on if it's an expenditure or an income, it will put the plus or minus sign, and this is what that transactions are actually being run off of. But I hid all that so you wouldn't have to see that, just to clean it up. And so we're hiding that. Now, again, you can see we have our date, the description, how much we spent. We're going to go over here. We spent the money, so it's an expense. We hit expense. And then what category? So McDonald's would say that is eating out. Now, we don't have an eating out category, so you're going to see this doesn't really mess things up, because it shows that now you have a total available of negative 33 because you have not put any income in. Because we're eating out, we want to add eating out as a budget. And what do we want to spend a month? We'll say $100. And now we have that budget, and it shows that we're negative. We're in the red, and it highlights that for you. And we're also over budget because we added $100 above our budget. So we want to adjust that to make sure we stay within budget. And we'll adjust our savings down. So now our budget and our projected income are the same. But our eating is still negative because we've spent money. We have not added anything. So let's go in. We'll double click this again. We'll say Friday we got paid. We'll say paycheck. And we'll just, for ease of numbers, say $1,000. And that here is income. And over here, you're going to choose income. You want to make sure that the type is income, and then the category is going to be income. But you can add other categories. So you can add side hustle or commission, whatever you want. But make sure you're putting income here in the type so it adds it in. As we come over, now we look at our dashboard, it shows that we have available because we added 1,000. We spent money in the eating out, and I'm going to go over this a little bit further, but I just want to show you how this is updating. Our categories, if we come back here, again, you've set this up. You don't have to mess with this on an ongoing basis. Shows you're 3,000 behind because you're projecting 1,000 for the month. You've only got 1,000 that you've put in, so you're 3,000 behind for the month. This is just helping you visualize, okay, there's more coming in to hit my projected in order to stay on budget. But what it's doing is it's giving you some symbols here. As you see, the green is just showing you that you're on track and not at your budget, but you're on track based on your percentages and spending. Here in the eating out, you can see that we're in the red because we're negative. If we were to change this eating out to just say $8, go back over here. Now you can see it went into the yellow, means you're a little bit behind, but not in danger. You still have money in there. You're just behind schedule on meeting your budget. In categories like this, you're going to see that because you're spending on an ongoing basis. So again, this is just the visual. This you don't have to change. The transactions, if I'm out to eat, I'm out with a bunch of friends, this is where I put in, hey, I just bought this, or I'm buying lunch, whatever it is, I'm tracking it. And this is real time, so you're keeping things active. And this only takes a second. I go up to the counter, I pay my bill, I take my receipt, I say, okay, it was today's date for this, the amount, what type it was, an expense, and then what category. I'm done. The beautiful part of this, and this is where a lot of the different apps that I've looked at, I struggled with, and doing it on the ledger like I did, the books at home. So let's say I'm out and I'm looking, saying, hey, a bunch of buddies say, hey, you want to go grab a couple beers or snack or whatever? And you're like, yeah, sure. And what happens is we look at our balance. We say, hey, I got $992 in there. I'm good. But we don't look at these things like eating out or entertainment and say, okay, what is available in this category? Can I spend this? And this was the liberating part for me when I got on this type of budget, is I didn't have to wonder, can I do this now? I didn't have to wonder, can I go and enjoy a round of golf, or can I go out with my friends and spend some money in this category, because I knew exactly what was in that category versus, oh, I got $992. I'm going to go drop $90 in entertainment. And then I get home, I'm like, I'm $15. I'm going to have to take $15 from Peter to pay Paul here. And it just becomes a very difficult thing. And what people do oftentimes as well is they'll say, okay, I got this paycheck today. I'm going to pay these bills. Then next week I have a paycheck. I'm going to pay these bills. and it's not planning for the full month. And so a lot of people will forget they have a bill coming in and different things happen, and this can be very dangerous. On your phone, you can just look and say, okay, can I spend this? And it's right here for you. And what this will also do, it'll do a systems check. If you forgot to put in a transaction, it'll show you that your balance is off, so you can go and double check, oh, I forgot to do something. If you do transfers, say I have extra money in my entertainment and I want to put it over to help because an unexpected bill came in and I was a little bit short, I can do transfers as well. So over here on the transactions, you can come over, put the date and what it's for, and say, I want to transfer out of housing because I have extra money saved up there. I want to transfer it in to my car. If you do a transfer from fund to fund, you just have to do 2 transactions. 1, I'm transferring it out of this fund, and 2, I'm transferring it into that fund. And that is huge, and it helps you be able to maintain and utilize that. I did that for years where I'd have money. Maybe I over budgeted on my utilities, and after the end of the year, I'm like, I have an extra $400 in this budget, in this category. I'm going to slide that over to my savings now. So I transfer it out of the utilities and transfer it into the savings. And those aren't changing your available balance. It's just changing where you have the money. So imagine this as if you have a stack of envelopes full of cash and you're out to eat. And you get your out to eat, your eating out category, your envelope, and say how much cash is in there. This is how much I can spend. This is doing the same thing. It's just digitized it. It's made it to where you can carry it with you. It's on your phone, or if you want to do it on your computer when you get home, that's totally up to you. But instead of having an app and having to pay a monthly fee, and then a lot of times they try integrating things and they get all sorts of stuff that can get very complicated, and it misses the one thing that I like. And this is where this is different than a lot of apps that I've used and played with and reviewed, is at the end of the month, it doesn't zero out everything. Just because, we'll go back to categories, you set your budget, let's say entertainment, $300. Let's say this month I've been working overtime and I haven't been out, I haven't done any entertainment. Maybe I only spent $100. There's $200 in that fund. At the end of the month, I don't want it resetting to where now next month I only have $300. I want to enjoy my entertainment when I want to enjoy it, and I'm putting that money in on a regular basis. Same thing with vacation. I don't take a vacation every month, so I want that accumulating, and then when I use it, I want that fund to be fully funded month over month over month. So when the new month comes, it continues to allocate each paycheck based on this budget, but your available doesn't go back to zero. It can keep accumulating. When I come in and I make my house payment, that will obviously go back down to zero if I've budgeted exactly what I need. And then the next month it'll build up, and then the bill will come in, I'll pay it, it'll go to zero. But again, let's say my entertainment, I spend $50 this month, then next month I'm still adding into it on top of the $250 that was left over. And so that is the thing that separates this to me and why I like it and why I've used this exact system just on paper for years. And the reason I made this was my son wanted something that was super easy. And I said, I'll design you something like what we use on paper, but you can carry it with you. And I got thinking, you know what? A lot of people I talk to on this channel are like, I want a budget, but I just can't stick with it. It's too much. I forget to do it. So I wanted to design it as simple as possible, but still having the features of carryover and rollover instead of zeroing out and starting over. And that's where a lot of the apps lost me and why I didn't like them. So now I want to highlight a couple things that you'll see. Now, if you have a category that goes into the negative, and we're going to do that, we'll just use the eating out again. We'll go back to, we'll just say $33. You have overspent. You see this danger zone. So this is the screen you're going to be looking at every day when you're about to spend money and you have to decide, do I have money? And you're out and you say, I can't go out to eat. I'm already in the hole. And it gives you this danger zone right here. You have one category in danger. Obviously, you look and it's the one in red. These are making their way to budget. So they're in yellow. They haven't hit that threshold yet. So those are just ones you want to keep an eye on. Again, you haven't fully funded it yet. I will just put this up to 4,000 to say we're fully funded. You would obviously get that probably in weekly or bi-weekly, but some people get paid monthly. So anyways, the money's in there now, the monthly budget. Come back over here to categories where you don't have to do anything, but you can look and say, okay, my budget is 4,000, actual income, 4,000. Projected income, what I projected and actual are the same, so I'm ahead by 0. It's equal. If I was to put that to, let's say I got a little bonus, for some reason there, you come over, I'm actually ahead by 500. Now, this is where you can manually go in, and you're like, hey, I'm up 500, and it beefed up all these categories. After you pay your house the $1,250, you look and you say, well, I have $156 extra in there. I don't need that unless you're going to pay extra on your house. Maybe you move that $156 over to your savings. So you just come over and you do a transfer out of housing, transfer into savings. When you get extra money, it is distributing it equally amongst these categories. And this is great for people who have inconsistent income. Maybe one month it's a little higher and another month it's lower. That way, the month that it's higher, you don't say, oh, I have an extra $500 I can spend. And then next month you're 500 lower and you end up short. So what it's doing is it's always distributing it equally. And then if you decide down the road, like this fund's really built up, I want to go ahead and clear it out and make it a little less over budgeted, over funded, and I can move that somewhere else. So as you can see, again, we could put this down to say 3,500. We're going to be 500 short. You look here, you're projected 4,000, you're behind by 500. So it distributed this percentage and everything's decent. We're at 87% on all of these. Eating out, we're at 54% funded for the month. But if we were to look at this, I'm doing this today on the 22nd of March. You could look at this and say, well, that's okay. We're almost at the new month and I'm well within my budget for the month, so I'm doing fine. This is just how it works. Again, this is the screen you're going to look at to determine this is what's available in my checking account. Doesn't mean I can spend that because I need to remember I have money coming in for housing. I'm going to have to spend that. I have an auto loan, it's going to be due. I can't spend that $300. And this is me. You can make these decisions, and everybody has to make this unique for them. But what I would do is after my savings, I would take this savings and I would put it as an expense. I would put today's date, transfer to savings, whatever amount. And then here, I wouldn't put transfer out because transfer out, remember, is transferring out of one category into another category. This, if you're transferring it into a totally different account, maybe you're putting it into a high yield savings or you're going to put it into your brokerage account. You're going to put it as an expense, and then you can put the category you want here. You could put savings, or maybe you have a high yield savings. You could add that. You could come over here. And so your category is I'm funding my high yield savings. And so again, this is just ways you can use this to meet your needs, set it up to where it's for you. If you have any questions on this, please feel free, throw them down in the comments below. I've worked on this, played around with it a lot, did a lot of troubleshooting. I know there might be some little tweaks that you think, oh, let's do this, let's do that. Feel free to share whatever your thoughts are. Again, I'm trying to keep this one as simple and smooth as possible. We could build, and I have one that I've worked on that I actually tried building for myself, and it's too much. It's just, you're not going to stay with it. The number one thing when I ask people, why don't you budget? They say it gets too complicated or I don't stick to it. I wanted something super simple that we could stick to that makes it easy, because this channel is all about everything money, about how to save, how to budget. But what we really talk a lot about is investing and how to grow our wealth. And people a lot of times will tell me, I don't have any money to invest. Well, the first way to find out how to invest is getting on a budget to find money to invest. Yes, we get the standard answer, oh, get a higher paying job, get a side hustle, make more money. And that's great. And those are options, and we'll do another video on that. But the number one thing you can do to get control of your wealth and to build wealth is to get on a budget, get a plan, and stick with the plan. And if we don't have a system that's easy to use, we won't stick with it. So leave your comments. Do you like this? Do you think this will be easy to use for people? Do you have a budget? Do you use a budget? Leave those comments down below for the community. Let's share and dialogue. What are the biggest things keeping you from staying on budget each month or even getting on a budget to begin with? What are the obstacles you're facing? What are those hurdles so we can help you? If you want help, we're here to help and provide guidance and support. If you don't, that's fine. We understand. Everybody's going to have to make their own decisions. But for those that want some help, and if you'd like a copy of this, feel free to grab that down below. And we'll see you next time on Simply Money.